Welcome everybody to a joint, so excited about this, a joint session between Brivity Platform and Ops Boss Coaching. I am Christy Belt Grossman. I'm the CEO of Ops Boss Coaching, and we coach and train operations people all over North America. Of course, we're open to going international as well. And I'm here with one of our partners, Stephanie Brackett. Stephanie, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Stephanie Brackett. I am an Ops Boss coach, and I'm also the acting COO of Anderson Hicks Group out of Idaho Falls, Idaho. Many of you know Mike Hicks as the father of the promise. He's one of my team owners.
And it's a dinky team that only does how much business, Stephanie?
Oh, just around 650 transactions last year.
Yeah, it's super tiny, small team in a major metropolis, so that's why they do that much business. So
right, like
population
the whole
of
100,000 people in our county area. Yeah.
Anybody that grows potatoes buys real estate with them. There you go.
I love it.
I'm super excited, you guys, to be here with Ben Kinney. I think most of you probably know Ben. If you don't, I'm going to let him introduce himself. He's what I call a celebrity, a real estate celebrity. But more than that, he's somebody that really understands our business from the ground up. He owns brokerages internationally, nationally, owns real estate teams, owns technology companies, and all kinds of stuff. We get questions all the time about CRMs and systems and all those things. And so I'm really excited to be partnering on today's training with Ben. So Ben, you want to introduce yourself? Thank you for doing this with us today.
Oh, my honor. I hate introductions and I hate bios. So I think the most important thing that I would tell everybody today is I've been in the business over 17 years. I was a relatively shitty agent on my own, and I would have hit a ceiling really early in my career if it wouldn't have been for one person, one woman, Jolene Snell, who was my assistant 15 years ago and still works with us today. And I don't know what Jolene started at, but it was $13 or $14 an hour, and that's all I could afford. And she was 22 or 23 years old, and Jolene became the heart and soul of our organization, and she allowed me to go do what I was great at, which she went and did what she was awesome at. And because of that, I consider the ops boss, the transaction coordinator, the DOO, whatever their title might be, the heart and soul of the organization. And all of our success, I give back to those people that are usually silent and unrecognized behind the scenes. So Christy, I was scrolling, I have the honor to be in a few Facebook groups that you guys are a part of and you guys moderate. And I was scrolling it one day and I saw somebody ask a question, and they were bringing up things like, hey, we got these paper systems, or we use Trello, we're using these other things. We're going to go over to what I call the cream of the crop, top producer. They're going to try to make follow-up boss work. And I just thought, I'm like, gosh, if we could teach people to do what Stephanie has done in her team and what Jolene's did for our team and use technology and systems to leverage themselves, they would be blown away by how much more time that they have and how much more freedom that they have to actually work on building the business instead of just doing tasks every day. So I sent a little private message to Christy and I said, Christy, we should do a call together and focus on operations and really the love on the people that we love and help them. Now, we know there's a lot of agents on the call as well, or people that are building teams or own teams. What we're talking about today is what your team has to have. John Maxwell said, systems make the ordinary extraordinary. And if you want to meet a more ordinary guy, it's hard to find a more ordinary average guy than me. I'm average weight with a poor metabolism. I'm average height. I can't tan, right? I used to be a cable guy, but we've created extraordinary things, Christy, because Jolene and I took the time to slow down and make systems today. So we'll talk a lot about Brivity, but it doesn't matter what technology you use, whatever you use, you're going to need the kind of systems that Stephanie and I are going to discuss, and Christy is going to discuss as well today. Fair?
I love that. That's so awesome. In our classes, those of you who have been through our classes, we talk about the 3X rule, right? We talk about how an admin's role is to generate 3 times their salary in commission income to the team through the use of systems. And by doing that, your whole world opens up into amazing opportunity for everybody. And so I asked Ben, and Steph, help us understand how can we do this? Because I think a lot of ops people think of themselves as leverage, and they forget that the systems and processes should be their leverage for themselves. So maybe that's where we can dive in.
Yeah, I think we all have one job, and our job is simple. Our job is to improve the business every single day. It's not to do the task. Anybody can do tasks. It's to improve the business. What did we improve today? And Stephanie's a good example of creating plans and systems for everything that you can imagine. And that 3X is a fraction of what Stephanie's brought in value to Anderson Hicks. And 3X is a fraction of what Jolene and Olivia and so many people that contribute to our world have done. So I'm excited to kind of dive in there and show examples of the types of systems that you would all need. And then we should add to that, Stephanie.
Just you quoted someone. I was going to quote someone. Dan Heath said, "Our systems are perfectly designed to give us the results that they give us," which means if you design a crappy system, you're going to get a crappy result. If you design an amazing system, you'll get an amazing result. It's going to give you what you designed it to give you. So my love of Brivity comes from imagining what's possible. Like to me, I thought, okay, I've got this tool. What can I use it for? I'm going to try and integrate it into everything I do, and I'm going to use it for everything I possibly can. And so if it can be a plan, I have a plan for it. Like onboarding, open houses, referrals in and out. They're all plans in Brivity, and I use it to run everything. So you just have to imagine what's possible. Think beyond just transaction management. Think beyond that. Go bigger, because it can do so much. Think of basic task management. Christy uses it, I know, to run her daily life. This is her task management system to tell her what to do. And she runs a coaching company.
Yeah. Can't live without it.
Yeah, well said. So I think we're gonna tackle this problem of building a really big business through systems and looking at a few buckets. And some of the ones we brainstormed was like taking our database and generating more referrals, and taking our database and making sure our agents are following up with our leads and holding them accountable. The second is, how do we automate transactions and pendings and the marketing, or even the onboarding of your agents, as Stephanie can show us, or our client parties or our referral programs? How do we create all these different systems and allow the technology to work for us? But the real question that you have to ask yourself today will overcome the number one objection that I hear from people, which is, I'm too busy. And the I'm too busy thing is going to lead to a life where you're always too busy. For the rest of your life, you're going to be too busy to work out. You're going to be too busy to improve your business. You're going to be too busy to save money. You're going to be too busy to pour into your family. We're all too busy. It's never going to solve. So the real question is, are you willing to commit 15 minutes a day to learning something and improving one thing in your business? And it's not going to feel great the first month, but you're going to wake up in 6 months or a year and have an entirely different business, an entirely different life, and a whole bunch of additional time, which I think is really important. From an operations person's point of view, is you can create a job where you're needed and it'd be hard for them to get rid of you, and you're stuck in a role where you can never grow and never make more money. Or you can improve the process and system so well that you can promote yourself by hiring somebody else more junior to take over. And you can either take a bigger role at the company or take additional roles like Stephanie's done with teaching or coaching or training. Use this conversation today to create that future life that you want to have.
Love that.
I totally
Always
agree.
be looking to replace yourself, right?
Yep.
And do the fun. My thought was always, I want to leverage out through people and systems all the stuff I don't like and I'm not good at, so I can only play in the sandbox where I love to play, and I still work really hard, but you can create incredible opportunity for yourself. Steph, what were you going to add?
I was going to say, I'm a huge Stephen Covey fan, and I feel like we all run around and we're always in quadrant one, and the Eisenhower matrix. We're just constantly in the urgent and important until we create systems. If you take a little bit of time to step into quadrant two, which is the not urgent but still important, and create those systems, that's where those live. If you create those, you can then continue working in quadrant 2 forever, which is, of course, is the quadrant of growth and personal development, instead of quadrant 1, which is the quadrant of stress and anxiety and heart attacks and high blood pressure and all those awful things where you don't want to be.
I love it. So we're going to do a little screen sharing today, and we're going to share, Steph and I, we're going to switch back and forth between screens, because I want you to see actual real examples of systems that people have put into place, and we'll talk about how they work. So Steph, as you say, hey, I have something great to show, just wave or say whatever, and I'll transfer it back, and vice versa. That kind of seems fair. So when we're looking at technology, I think it's important to understand what it really does for us. The purpose of technology is to give us our time back, to make us more efficient, and to improve the productivity and profitability of a business. And Stephanie, you run one of the largest real estate businesses operationally in the US and Canada. How many technology systems did you guys have before you switched to Brivity?
When we merged our 2 teams, we were running 4 different CRMs.
Do you remember what they were?
I do. Top Producer, Seize the Market, Commissions Inc., and Exact.
That's a lot. Yeah. And merging those all in, what was the outcome of bringing them all into one spot?
Oh, it's been amazing. In fact, it was funny because we merged in November of 2018. And in January of 2019, so 3 months later, Sean and I were talking and we're like, this is just a mess. Like, we've got 4 systems. Like, well, what are we going to do? And I'm like, why don't we just get one system? Like, how can we do this? And he's like, I don't know if we can do that. I'm like, I think we could do that. And we sat in a room for about an hour listing all the pros and cons. And I'm like, screw it. We just merged 2 giant teams. Why don't we just switch CRMs too? Like, it's a mess anyway. Let's just switch. So we decided on January 28th to switch. And on March 31st, we went live on Brivity. So it took 2 months to merge 50,000 contacts down to 15,000, which is what we imported into Brivity. Everybody that went into Brivity had reciprocated contact with us. We ended up with a bunch of lists for people to call. I have a lot of lists. No one had ever reciprocated contact on those lists, but we ended up with these 15,000 names in Brivity, and we picked up, and everybody started from that day forward working in Brivity solely.
When they think about technology today, Commissions Inc., Boomtown, Follow Up Boss, a lot of these tools, they think about what the screen that I have here right now, which is managing leads. But it's not just leads. It's managing our past client database and generate referrals. It's managing our transactions. It's doing our marketing. It's communicating with our clients. Like, we want one holistic approach where everything in our business is automated and systemized. As you see on the screen right here, this is what we call our lead index. And this will be familiar to really any system you use because they all have one. But what this gives us is a view of what's going on in our business. And as an account owner and admin, you should be able to see everything. Like, hey, when's the last time that an agent called a lead? Do they have any overdue tasks? Who's that assigned to? Do we have an auto plan? When's the last time this person visited the website? How many times have they visited? What properties did they view? What's their average price? Do they have a listing alert set up? Do they have a market report? When's the last time they opened the market report? This type of data allows agents and admin to make smart calls instead of dumb calls. A dumb call is, hey, I saw you register on the website. Are you thinking about buying real estate? Well, duh, they went to your website, right? But a smart call would be, I saw that you looked at a home in Idaho Falls in this neighborhood. I'm going to be in the area anyway, and I wanted to see if you wanted to join me, or if it'd be easier if I called you while I was there and we live streamed, or I could send you some photos. Since I'm going to be out that way anyway. Or, hey, as an admin, hey, Christy, I saw that you had opened our market report. By the way, congrats on your new home. Here's what's interesting. It looks like homes in your area have gone up 3% just since you purchased a couple months ago. That's phenomenal. Are you enjoying the market reports? Is there anything you'd like me to change? It's just a touch that any of us can do. And we're starting off on this venture right now to go back through all the 6,000 customers that I've sold around Bellingham, Washington since we started, and really implement the level of sphere programs that Stephanie and Mike Hicks and a team have done to generate so much of the referral business that they have today. So I wanted to start off with this screen simply because that's what most people think that technology is. But it's not just that. It's a place for you to see everybody that's raised their hand or came back, or everybody that's requested a showing or asked a question. It's a place for you to see, hey, are my agents sending text messages to the people, and are people responding? Is our admin texting and keeping in touch with our clients, or are the vendors, or even the agents on the sales team? And have every one of those things been responded to? And you can see that when you have technology that gives you, there's live ones coming in there right now, you can see they're popping up, visibility to that communication. Anything you add to that, Stephanie?
Just that it's so easy then to do a pipeline audit. Because we have all this information, one thing that our team worked on, we have an amazing coach, John Vandergeist, and last year, his question to us was, what would happen to your business if you were able to increase your representation, your appointment to representation conversion metric? What would happen if you could get it to 50%? And at the time we were sitting at 22%. Like, what would happen? So it was all hands on deck. Like, how do we increase this metric to get us up to 50%, which meant to us, if we did the math, $1 million to the bottom line without one new lead coming into the system. And Brivity allowed us to be able to take and do a pipeline audit on our people and say, okay, how many people do you have that are an A priority? In our world, A priority means buy or sell in the next 30 days. Of those people, how many have you not contacted within the last 3 days, which is our team standard? If you're an A priority, we talk to you every 3 days. And we're able to run those, and that has completely changed our business. We're well over 50% now, and now we're shooting for 70%. So
I think it gives you tangible metrics that allow you to have a business conversation versus emotional conversations. I know a lot of operations people ask us in our coaching, like, how do I hold my agents accountable? Like, they don't want to talk about that. This puts us on the same side of the table, moving forward in the same direction, because we can help coach them to the results that they want with tangible, factual information versus emotional, anecdotal information. That's what I love about this.
What'd you call it, Stephanie?
what, a pipeline audit?
A pipeline audit. So what you hear there is that she put a name to it. And that is also, that's a system now in their business. So if I was on the call right now, I would write down, do we have a pipeline audit process system, right, for our world? Because what that really means to me is that their business has set up standards and expectations for how we should follow up with leads, clients, past and present, in their business. That's what the pipeline audit really is, right, Steph?
Absolutely. And it's all clearly defined. It's written down. Everybody knows what an A priority, a B priority, everybody knows what that is. It's clearly defined. Everybody knows what an appointment is. We've defined what constitutes an appointment. They all have definitions around them. And then we use the system to audit and hold people to the standards that we've created around these definitions.
If you want to build a really big business, you got to build a culture. One of the number one things that separates culture is language. Put a name to everything. They have the A's and the B's and the C's, and they have definitions of that. They have names for all these systems, right? Christy, you even came up with a name for people in this role, the ops boss. Like that is a name for this culture of people that we all right now understand that ops boss is the difference between an average mediocre person and somebody that really owns their role, right?
Yep, absolutely. Steph's team is the king of acronyms. They have an acronym for everything.
Pretty much everything.
But it binds everyone together and pulls you in the same direction.
Yeah, we like to do that too. In fact, when we find good ones, we steal it. So we have a promise plan in our Brivity account that's stolen from Steph and Mike Hicks and team. We also come up with our own. Our 10 Days of Pain is a lead follow-up plan that I named 12 or 13 years ago because it was painful for my agents to follow and painful for the consumer to ignore, that allowed us to increase the conversion of our leads into actual appointments. Put a name to it, create a process, and then outline the different steps and tasks. I love that. So right now we're on the task screen of Brivity. The task screen allows us to very quickly see what has to get done today, who it's assigned to, when it's done, what the priority is. Is it assigned to a property, a person, or a project? A project would be like career night or a client party. A transaction would be your listing or your pending, and a person would be sphere follow-up or lead follow-up, something like that. You can assign tasks to all these. You can also, under the task screen, you can see what's overdue, what's due today, what's upcoming, and you can click on completed and see all the things that currently have been done for you to say, are our people being productive or effective? How would either one of you talk about the power of having tasks or organizing tasks or in this particular screen?
I think as simple as it is, this is one of the most powerful screens in the program because you have 100% clarity when you walk into your office every day on what your priorities are and what needs to be done, as opposed to figuring out what should I be doing right now. The other thing I love about this in terms of team is I like to have transparency of workflow between people. So if you have several ops people on your team, you've got your TC and your EA and your DOO. I, as a DOO, can look and see what everybody has on their plate today. And one has a short list and one has a long list, and that it creates teamwork between them. Now I can go, oh, I see your list is really long. Let me take a few things off your plate and put them on mine. I love this screen.
The thing I love about it is who doesn't want to walk in the door every morning and know exactly what they have to get accomplished today and then leave knowing that they won today? And that's what that does. I won. I got every single one of my tasks done today. I'm winning. And none of my clients are getting forgotten about. Like, I am so confident in our plans that I know that I didn't miss a deadline. Everybody that was supposed to get touched today got touched today. And the same thing with agents. Like, we play a lead follow-up game. We have a massive lead generation machine, and that's our ISAs. They come in every day. They know exactly what they're supposed to do. They're calling and setting appointments. Our agent's job is to, get some sphere appointments, do that, but come in and work the appointments that we already gave you and make sure you're converting those leads to representation agreements. And the way we do that is they walk in and they sit down and all their tasks are listed out. Who do I need to call today? They don't have to sit there and think about it. They just log in and do their task. If they do the things, their conversion rates go up.
It was the very first thing that I built for Brivity. We didn't build Brivity to sell to people. We built Brivity to manage the listing and pending process for my business. It was meant to solve two problems. One, I wanted every client to get the same experience. I didn't want one client to have an amazing experience and the next client to have partial because we forgot to do things. Two, I wanted to communicate to my agents and to my clients what I was doing for the fees that I charge or for the share of commission that our business takes. So what we did is we set it up so when you click one of these tasks as complete, it gets rolled up to a daily or a weekly message that goes out to your clients. You decide daily or weekly. That says, hey, congratulations, here's the 17 things that Christy did today to get your property closer to being sold. It creates transparency in the transaction. Now it's easy because if you want to create your own task, you just hit the plus button and you create a task for yourself. But the vast majority of these tasks are not manually created. They're scheduled for Steph and Christy and I to do because they're part of a plan that we call auto plans. That allows for every transaction, every lead, every event to be handled in the same way. It's consistency. It may not always be the best way. Like McDonald's, they don't make the best cheeseburger. They make the most consistent cheeseburger. I've had that cheeseburger in Turkey. I've had it in Europe. I've had it in Africa. I've had it in Central America. I might have had it a few times here in Washington, right? It's not the best burger, but it's the most consistent. So first you make it consistent and then you improve it and make it really awesome.
It also means that your system is not reliant on who's operating the system. The system is the system. I always tell my coaching clients, what if I fly in tomorrow and walk into your office and I go, hey, Ben, your boss just gave you a week off. You get to leave right now. Am I able to walk in and just take over your role for the week? When I have this screen in front of me, the answer is yes. If I have to figure out all different things, pieces of paper, is the office kept in your head? You can't go on vacation.
Well, literally, I mean, we'll pick Anthony because he's a good guy. But if Anthony got hit by a car today, what would happen to my business? In the old days, if Jolene left me, I would be in shambles. Today, I would go in here, I'd log in as Anthony, and I would switch his picture out to Sue, and Sue would just pick right up after doing all the tasks that were previously assigned to Anthony. It's literally that simple. It creates security and safety and organization in your business so that, I love what you said, Christy, people can take a vacation, people can take a break, people can have a baby. Jolene had a baby a couple of years ago and took her a couple months of being a mom off, and everything ran okay. Not quite as good as when she would have been here, but everything ran, and we continued to operate, and she got to have that time to be a mom, or she got to have that time to go to Mexico and enjoy her vacation and not worrying about the business. So one of the biggest things that people use technology like this for is to manage transactions. So I want to show you, this is an actual transaction. It's pending right now. These are all the different people that are assigned to work on that transaction in our business. Ryan's the listing agent. I'm the co-list agent. So it shows the seller that these individuals are either roles or positions that help us, or that I want to be able to see these aspects of the transaction. Over here, these are the viewers. These are the sellers, or the buyers, or the lenders, the different people that might be a part of the transaction. As you scroll down, these are all the different plans that are applied just to this transaction. Notice the top one there, Stephanie. The promise script plan is we need to make sure that our staff is following the plan for asking for referrals and delivering on our promise. Down below, there's the seller pending plan. Below there's our document compliance plan, the social posting classified plan, the marketing manager plan. We can talk about these. We apply a variety of plans, so it's not one gigantic one, because the social posting and classified, we paused it because we're pending. We don't need to continue to advertise that. Then we apply the seller pending plan, and the plans stack on top of each other. Down below, here's a list of everything that's been done, who did it, and when they did it. Here is a list of all the specific tasks, all the places that it's advertised, all the showing feedback, all the notes, the details, the documents of the transaction, the financials if you use that aspect, which is commission, who's getting what, so on. It's all organized for you and or the clients to see what's going on at any time. What am I missing, or what am I not saying that the real value of this piece is, Steph or Christy?
The agents also know exactly what's happening. So the admin gets their time back because they're not always answering the question, did you do this? Did you do this? Did you do this?
And I would add, like, think big. Like, you can text within your team. You can auto text and auto email within your team and outside your team through these plans. Don't just think about, oh, I want to send an auto text to the client to let them know that the inspection has been scheduled. We have one that's set up that's an auto text to our ISAs. The minute that something that they set the appointment for goes under contract, the ISA gets a text saying, hey, congratulations, the Smiths just went under contract and you set that appointment 9 months ago or whenever it was. Congratulations, you'll see that on your next paycheck. So anybody can receive, you can do it any party to the transaction. It doesn't have to be outside of the team.
Our job as business owners and leaders is to create systems, and then to ensure that our people follow it, and then to work together with our people to improve it. This is a list of all these different tasks and texts and emails that go out just for the pending process. And if I go back out of here, you'll see that in the pending process so far, because it's still pending, we've completed 35 of the 69 tasks that we've identified that happen every time we take a seller pending. It organizes your business. Now, what Stephanie and Christy were explaining is this isn't a task list. This is a super intelligent automation of how do you manage your business. And I'll give you a couple of examples. Inside Brivity, you have the ability to create custom roles. A role would be like, on my team, I have a buyer's agent, a listing agent, a transaction coordinator, and a director of ops. Those might be your 4 team roles. But in my area, for collaborators, we have attorneys, not escrow people. We have home inspectors. We have appraisers. We have these different types. And we don't always have the same lender on every transaction. We don't always have the same agent on every transaction. We don't always have the same admin or virtual assistant. When you set up roles and then you assign somebody to a role in a transaction, our technology knows who to assign the task to. Our technology knows who to send a text to, who to send an email to, who to send a email from, who to send a text from. It automates that. And Steph, maybe we could, in a second, maybe show us some examples of some of the plans on how those work. But in order to really leverage the power of roles, you got to build them out. You got to go into your transaction, add somebody to the role so the technology knows that the listing agent on this one is Ryan, but on the next transaction, the listing agent might be Sue. But in order to get the full power of it, you can't just have custom roles. You got to have custom dates. Custom dates are things like, hey, I want to log in a person record, their anniversary, their birthday, an appointment date, their team anniversary if they work for you, their first day on the team, the spouse's birthday, the start of the year. All these different things are dates. And that allows you to automatically create tasks, text, and emails that go out on somebody's birthday or somebody's anniversary or somebody's home anniversary or on Hanukkah or Valentine's or whatever you want. In a transaction, you create custom dates that you want to trigger tasks and text and emails off of. So, Steph, you might say 2 days before inspection date, we would send a reminder to the seller, role seller, that the inspection is in 2 days at this specific time and that this specific agent will be there. It allows you to do that. Or if you want to have a closing date, you can create a task that goes 3 days after closing and one that happens 3 days before in texts that go out on closing. You can't run a really automated business if you don't have a concept of custom roles and custom dates, which is why tools like Trello will never work for you. They don't have triggers that give you your time back. We build this plan once and then it gets to operate. So I'm going to let Stephanie share an example of a transaction plan real quick so you guys can see the real power. And then your homework is to go build one of these. And we'll share some example plans for you if you're a Brivity customer, of course, because then you auto import it. You don't have to build it. We'll share some example plans inside Masterminds. But Steph, you want to show us an example of a transaction plan?
Yeah, so this is my buyer closing plan. And if you look here, the very first thing that happens, it says, hi, role ISA first name. I have 6 ISAs. So the plan, I just assign whichever ISA took care of this one. And that ISA gets a text that says, just want to let you know that the buyer went under contract today. You set up that appointment. So congratulations. I'll let you know when it closes. That's an auto text. If you went and asked my ISAs right now and said, what's your favorite text you get every day? It's these. It's these every day because they get those. So we have a bunch of texts.
That is so powerful because it gives that person validation that they're doing good. But you could do that with the listing agent too, right? Hey, congrats. I'm so proud of you. You got this property pending. Okay, keep going.
Yeah, keep going. Then we have a bunch of tasks. We have, here you go for promise stuff. Well, here's inspection stuff. These are auto text. FYI, the inspection is scheduled for this date at this time. Thanks, Nicole. That goes from my transaction coordinator to the listing agent or the co-op agent. We can send it to the cooperating agent, right? This one, please make sure that the utilities are on. This is going to a co-op agent, not even on my team. This is the co-op agent outside my system, but their role is the cooperating agent. If we scroll down further, we mentioned the promise. I have one in here. I don't know where it is. Oh, right here. So we ask when Nicole makes her welcome call to the client. She says, hi, this is Nicole from Anderson Hicks Group. Congratulations on the purchase of your home. I'm super excited. I'll be working with you, blah, blah, blah. And then in that conversation, she says, Chris talked to you about the promise, yes? And if they're like, no. And she's like, well, our team has this goal, this promise to create an experience you can't imagine being any better. And if they say, oh, yeah, they did talk to me about that. She marks off a task that says client was familiar with the promise. If they say, I have no idea what you're talking about, she finishes out and gives them the promise. And then she marks off the task that says client was not familiar with the promise. And this text goes out to our sales manager that says, FYI, I made the welcome call to so-and-so, and they were not familiar with the promise. The buyer's agent has been assigned a task to call them and deliver it.
That is so good. That is so good.
Steph, I want to put an exclamation point to the automation of this, because I'm not sure everyone listening really understands the power and what the automation piece means. And you gave me a number yesterday of how many pendings your TC could handle pre-Brivity and how many pendings she can handle now. Tell me those numbers.
Well, the funny thing is there's so much more in this plan than there ever was in our old plan. So let me preface it by saying that. So in top producer, the wheels would start falling off when my TCs hit about 30. When they hit about 30 pendings, the wheels started falling off. Things started getting missed. Things started getting dropped. Nicole, who's my buy-side TC, now, mind you, she's amazing and she has 15 years experience doing this, but she had she was almost 80 pendings that she was holding last year for a high touch. I mean, there's 110 tasks in this plan. 110 tasks, and she's holding 80 pendings at a time. We more than doubled our ability with this system because of the automation that it created for us.
So you improved customer service to the client, you improved client experience for your agents.
Absolutely.
And you doubled your capacity without adding any salaries to your payroll.
Absolutely.
That's kind of amazing. I just wanted people to understand the automation piece because I think people miss that.
I had an agent leave my team once, and they came back and they said, I'm like, would you let me come back to the team? I said, sure, but you got to tell me why you left in the first place and why you want to come back. And they said, I didn't realize all the things you had done for me. I was a brand new agent when I started, and I didn't have a great understanding of all the things that I was getting for the value that I paid. And I left that saying, gosh, isn't that my fault? I'm not doing a great job of explaining our value to our people. So I had that conversation with Jelaine and Olivia and our team, and they went off and they created little tiny tasks and texts that go out. So instead of my admin just ordering a sign, when the sign task gets completed, checkbox, a text automatically goes out to the listing agent that says, hey, Ryan, congrats, your sign is being installed today. When the photos get uploaded, hey, Ryan, congrats, your photos have been uploaded. So it goes out to these different people so they understand all the value that we're providing them, and they aren't sitting back there questioning, thinking that they could do this on their own.
Yeah, you've now put legs on your value proposition.
Our job to our consumers is to continuously explain our value. Is my screen sharing the right one right now?
It's the roles, yeah, the dates, sorry, the custom dates.
Yeah. So inside auto plans, there's things like triggers. A trigger would allow a plan to be applied to a person. And the obvious one would be, I want to follow up with all my leads as soon as they come in. So you can set up a trigger that says, when I have an intent of buyer, which means we know if they're buyers or sellers, and the source of Zillow, I want to apply this plan called the Zillow buyer plan. And you would want to have the Zillow buyer plan because the Zillow buyer plan sends a message that says, hey, I saw that you were on Zillow and you had a question about a property. My name is blah. If you just had a regular buyer plan, that would say, hey, I saw that you visited my website. They didn't visit the website, they visited Zillow. It allows you to customize these plans and trigger all these different ones. These are all different triggers that we have. And these are all different people plans that we've created to follow up with people in our database. 10 days of pain, quickly plan, which is our sign calls, the seller re-engage plan, the agent onboarding plan, the agent launch plan, the open house lead plan, the celebration plan, the IDX plan, the inbound referral plan. I feel like I'm going through the Forrest Gump list of shrimp recipes. As you go up here, you also see these actual people plans or transaction plans. I'm going to go to transaction plans real quick. because I want to show you the different types of transaction plans that our team does. Now, what's interesting about our team here is we have two in-person ops people, one for pending, one for listings. They managed over 600 closings last year, hundreds and hundreds of listings, tons and tons of pendings, two people. They're backed up with virtual assistants. You see that we have the listing cancellation plan, the listing back to active plan, the listing expiration date extension plan, the listing date extension for commercial. All these are little different variations. We started with one, and over time, we would add a new one and we'd make a little bit better, or we would separate plans. So I'm not trying to overwhelm you. I'm trying to show you the different things that you can do. Let's look at some elements of a plan. So this is the seller pending. You have a listing. So you add your active listing plan and your marketing plan and so on it. But then once it goes pending, you apply the seller pending plan to your transaction. On day 0, it gives you all these different tasks that you know that you have to do every time as an ops boss that you have a pending listing. These are all those things. As you scroll through those tasks that you or a VA are doing, these are all set up to trigger text, hey, to roll listing agent, blah, blah, blah. Here's to the home inspection one. All these things are organized and it's super easy. You go in here, you say, you know what, on day 0, I want to add a text that says this, hey, and then you add a placeholder, listing agent, first name, hey, listing agent, first name, we need your copy of the whatever paperwork. I want it to go out 1 hour after the plan starts, or 1 hour after one of these tasks that have been gotten done, or I want to send it at a specific time. But who do I want to send it from? Like the first message for like a listing expiration might be from, hey, ops manager, hey, we saw that your listing is expiring in 2 weeks. Please get that done. If that listing hasn't been updated and it hasn't been extended, the next message shouldn't come from them. It should come from Ben. Hey, Ryan, I see that your listing is expiring in 5 days. Please text me and update me on the status. That's a different person. So I could say on this one, I want it to come from Ben, because they're going to do something different when it comes from Dad here. Or, hey, I'm going to have it come from the buyer's agent or the ops person, the TC, and I'm going to send it to the listing agent. This automation is what allows you to simplify your business and get things working a lot quicker. Anything you want to share or show as an example? There's stuff related to planning.
Probably what I would share is actually a hack.
Yeah.
And I'll show you. If you want to flip screens, I'll show you a hack. Because you're running so many plans and you end up with a bunch of tasks, right? My hack is every task name has a little code at the beginning, so I know what plan it's firing out of. So if I'm going to work my tasks, I know that this is an agent onboarding plan. This is a buyer closing plan. This is a referral in plan. So every single task, when I build my plans, every single task starts with a code for what plan that's firing from. So if I'm just working a list of tasks, I know exactly what that is. So that's a hack.
I love that. Let me show you another hack right in that same alley. So there's things that happen in a transaction to market a listing that all happen in the beginning. And then there's a period of time that sellers feel like we're not doing anything. We actually are doing lots of stuff, but we don't do a good job of communicating it. So our team went out there and created the marketing manager plan. Now, not only that, we used a seat on Brivity so that every one of these tasks gets assigned to the seat we call marketing manager. Now, it's nobody specific. So we know when these tasks come up every day, we just mark them all as complete, because then it shows up in the communications to the seller that these are the things that we're doing to market your property. Advertise the listing here, put it on our sites, list it on our brokerage site, put it on Trulia, update the photos, advertise it on Redfin. And these are all set up as recurring. So if you go into edit, you can see that this is set to recur every 7 days. So every 7 days, there's a new task that we get to mark off to show the sellers that we've updated it on Redfin or Zillow or whatever. So they see that we're doing all these different marketing things from the day we list it until the day we sell. Post on Craigslist every 48 hours. There's a task. Now, I don't need to have a specific person do those things because our technology automates a lot of that. All I have to do is have our people mark them all done by the end of the day. Maybe that'll kind of help you think about different kind of hacks and ways. You can see in this one that this one is actually assigned to the marketing manager, which is not a real person for us. It's
Love
just
that.
something that we all mark off.
I mean, we talk about that all the time, whether it's with our buyers and sellers or whether it's with our agents. Tell them what you're going to do it, tell them what you did. And when you do that, you've created a trust whatever you want to call it, a trust triangle. That's exactly what you've enabled in this system.
So your challenge, no matter what you're using, is to go out and create systems and processes that can be duplicatable and scalable for your listings, your pendings, your client follow-up, your sphere plans, all of that. Once you've done that, then you get to free up your time to lead the business or run the business. And you would use other tools like the reporting dashboard to see, hey, how many tasks are your admin or your ISAs or your ops team actually completed? And I think, Steph, do you have an example?
Yeah.
Let me know when it's ready.
I'm ready.
In addition to that, we can see a list of every lead that's been called, how many leads have been emailed, how many leads have been texted, what the agent's response times are. So as a business owner, you're gonna check this. As an ops person, if that's your role, you're gonna ensure that the money you're spending to generate leads does not get wasted. I want Steph to show you this particular screen though.
And that's a huge thing, Ben. We were on a different system when I was on my real estate team, and I went through one day, and all I did is look at the emails from people of which people had bought properties that we never followed up with. And I found $800,000 in GCI just sitting there, and that was without even talking to anyone. So if you just how many holes are in our businesses, this allows us to plug the holes.
Yeah, I tell you what, if you're using our system and you follow our plans, if I can't find you 24 extra transactions in a year, right, I'll just let you have it for free. Because it's just, if you actually follow and take the time to implement the stuff that Steph and Christy teach and coach, it's impossible not to generate more referrals and generate more business and to convert more leads and to make your admin more efficient. Go ahead, Steph. Explain, what is this screen showing?
So right now I'm looking at tasks for last year. So I can see all of the tasks that were completed by everyone on my team for last year. This is tasks up here last year. And if you scroll down to Nicole, who's my buy-side TC, she completed 18,647 tasks last year. And of those 18,647, she got 18,132 of them done on time. She did them on the date they were due. So just a phenomenal ability to see who's working their task and who's not working their tasks, which is awesome. She's got like a 98% on-time task completion rate. And we know that tasks completed on time equal happy clients. That's what the system's designed to do. If I do it when I'm supposed to do it, I take care of my clients.
98% of the time she gets them done on time. She's averaging 358 completed activities per week in your business, which would be very easy if you have a virtual assistant, a Brivity virtual assistant, or from somewhere else. You could go and say, how effective and productive are these people? You're going to know that by ensuring that every text, every call, every email, and every task is logged in the CRM that you work with so that you have visibility. Remember, the lack of accounting actually means the lack of accountability. You can't say that you're an accountable person if you haven't created systems to do that. And you can go create gigantic spreadsheets and have these whiteboards on the wall where you handwrite everything in, or you can allow technology to do these things for you.
Yep. One other thing I was going to share too that is kind of a hack, because I'm sure Brivity never intended to do this, is I wrote my onboarding system in Brivity. So when we onboard agents, it's 130 tasks long. And that's how we onboard our agents. It's everything we need to do for the client and for the agent, and everything the agent needs to do for themselves to get up to speed on being on our team. Watch this video, complete this worksheet, take this quiz. It's all in Brivity.
I love that. This is a lead source tracking. Like so many admin and ops bosses spend time doing marketing and spend time generating business and doing stuff. It's hard to sometimes go and prove that, hey, I'm worth a lot to this organization. But these different screens, the task screen says, hey, I did 16,000 things for the business last year, more than anybody else. You don't like that? Kiss my butt, right? Not only that, look at all the business that we generated. This is just our little Bellingham team. They've generated 980 new leads since January 1 of this year. So 1,000 new leads in the month. We have a very small budget for lead gen, but I can see all the leads, all the sources, and what status they're in. So as you start just generating leads, you would go over and say, well, how many of the leads we're generating are becoming hot or unqualified or nurtures? How many are becoming past clients? The ones generated this month are not going to show up in past clients very often because they haven't bought yet. But you would look at that over the last year, and you could start looking at all the other sources. And you might go and say, you know what? We spent a lot of money on realtor.com or whatever this thing was. We're getting no business from that. It's time to just get rid of it and use that money somewhere more effective.
You know, and what we just went through this past year with the pandemic, this screen was so vital because we had to have a thumb on our business to know where every dollar was being spent and what the return was. And we needed to look at that quickly and not at the end of the year. So this gives you the ability to always know where your return on investment is. I love that.
Well, the next role that I see a lot of ops people doing is they're trying to do their job, and they're trying to be designers, and they're trying to be marketers, and they're trying to go do all this stuff and make listings look pretty and marketing look pretty. So we went and solved that here at Brivity. The next thing we built is Brivity Marketer. Brivity Marketer allows you to very quickly make postcards, just listed, just sold, handwritten cards, holiday cards, custom cards, Facebook ads, just sold ads, any of that. Order your business cards, your signs, or get ready-made marketing materials that you can post. But it fills in all the data automatically from your MLS listings. So you don't have to go out there and actually create the card. You just set the template that you want, and it pulls in that property automatically so that when you create your postcard, you select the template that you want, the size that you want to send out, click create, you've made your postcard. What agent do you want to showcase on the card? My listing agent or the team owner, right? And where do I want to send it? How many do I want to send? Do I want to send it to everybody in my Brivity database? Or do I want to send it to a neighborhood of people around that house? And you can customize that down to just send it to people that haven't sold a home in the last 5 years, or people that have homes at between 300 and 400, because you know those are the people that buy the $500 and $600 homes in your area. It automates this marketing for you, so you don't have to think about it or do it. Now the next, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I just used that about 2 weeks ago. We have an expansion team in Boise, and I don't have any contacts for postcards or anything. And he's like, I want to do circle prospecting postcard. And I'm like, oh crap, wait, I'll try Brivity. And I tried it. It took me 10 minutes to design the postcard, and boom, I was done. And it was sent. And we sent 300 postcards out around a couple mile radius of our listing.
Yeah, and the next time that you do it, Steph, you don't have to do it because you already selected your template. It actually does it all for you. You just edit whatever little pieces you want. So then it goes down to 3 minutes or 2 minutes.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, this is all included inside your product, of course. So if you guys don't know how to use that or access that, let us know and we'll teach you. Well, the next thing that we built is a really cool tool. Most of you guys don't know about it, but if you're Brivity customers, you get this for free. This is called Brivity Designer. Brivity Designer allows you to make marketing pieces automatically and allows you to resize them into other pieces that you would use. So let me give you an example. Let's find we're hiring one. Let's do that one. You guys, your admin, your ops boss, and the boss comes in and she says, Stephanie, we need more people. You're like, great, I'm going to put some ads together. So you fumble around trying to figure it out, or you log into a tool and say, all right, I'm just going to use this. I'm going to edit this, and you're going to edit to go to whatever your website is, right? Put your logo on there. But when you're done doing that, these tools, let's see if I can get you one. it automatically will resize it into every other different type of piece that you need. So you don't have to make one for Instagram, one for Facebook, one for a flyer. Let me give you some examples of the designs that you have. You can do ads like a medium rectangle. You can, or leaderboard, a skyscraper, a vertical. You can do social posts and say, I need a square one, a wide one, a Pinterest pin, a Google post, a Facebook cover, a LinkedIn cover, Twitter, Google. You can do print. Hey, I need to design a book cover. That's sweet. I'm going to write a book about how to hire. There we go. Now I just did. Now I can edit it. Now I don't want a book cover. I changed my mind. I'm a little OCD. Now I'm going to do a letter format.
I'm pretty sure my ops boss is on this call. Sheila, if you're on this call, I know you're loving this right now.
And when you select it and you select your new template, it automatically goes down here and makes it into everything else that you need. You just make it once. And then you save it. So the next time you don't start from scratch, you use that as a template for your business. Remember, your job is every single day to improve the business. Every single day, what are you doing to improve your brand, how it looks, right? To automate and systemize things so that you get more and more of your time back. Kind of cool, huh?
That's awesome.
I bet you there's a whole bunch of people that are sitting back and saying, gosh, I have Brivity, but I feel a little overwhelmed and I need some training on it. I want to encourage you guys to go to a program that Steph and Christy put together. There's one next month and there's one the month after, correct? I think the one next month is almost all the way done.
I think we're almost sold out next month. So April and June.
What do you call it?
Systems are sexy. Be a boss 2.0.
I like that. Systems are sexy. Will you put the link into chat for everybody? One, I was a little blown away. It was super cheap. It was $99 was the entry price. So that's dumb and super cheap. So you guys can't afford not to spend half a day for 2 days in a row to get systems implemented in your business. So if you're sitting back here wondering or like thinking, I need systems, but I don't know where to start, I want you guys to reach out to Christy and Stephanie and invest 3 hours, 2 days in a row to start chipping away at that. What are they going to learn there?
Steph?
5 steps to create a system. I use a 5-step process to create a system, and we talk about that. They'll get to road test 2 of my systems. They'll see them. The promise system, how I've integrated it into everything, and our database, how to manage a database, how to label it, the A priority, B priority, all that we talked about, that. And then we'll build systems together. We will literally build one together as a group, and then you'll do breakout groups and you guys will build one together, and you won't believe the power of brainstorming. When you're brainstorming with other people that do the same job for you on other teams, you get amazing results, and you leave with all those systems that you could then go write and put into Brivity.
Yeah, we need to build a community of people around us that lift us up, and we share plans back and forth with each other. If anybody's on this call is not a Brivity customer, go to brivity.com/demo if you want to take a deeper look at it, and mention Ops Boss, and we'll give you guys a little bit of a savings if for some reason you want to do that. I think this was kind of fun, and I think we touched the very top of it. So what would you ladies think if we did another one coming up, but we focused on one topic? Like, one thing I would like to focus on is how do we help operations leaders work their database and generate more referrals? And I know that is like a power subject for you ladies. Maybe the next call we dive into working our sphere from an operations point of view, marketing to them, creating the marketing piece, emailing them, the scripts that we use in the follow-up plan. Would everybody like that? Would you guys come back for that one? All right. Sounds like
Oh, yeah.
a whole bunch of people are typing yes right now. So that sounds like maybe what we do, and we'll chip away and we wake up, down the road, and every call gave you one more system or one more process to improve your business. And you'll be able to thank Ops Boss coaching and training and Brivity for being a little tiny part of your success in 2021.
Love that.
What are we missing, Christy or Steph? Anything?
A friend of mine said, did a training recently for NARESP, said, extraordinary service does not require extraordinary effort. It requires thought. And I was like, that's awesome. That's what Stephanie, I think, has been so good at, and Jolene is so good at. And so I'd say I know there's some people on the call that are like a little overwhelmed because it's so powerful and does so much. just chunk it down, right? It requires thought. Thought requires time blocking, and just start, like Ben said at the beginning of the call, with 15 minutes a day on your first system, and you'll be surprised how powerful you can grow to. So I want to just thank you. It's awesome.
I
Steph?
think we should make a couple of Ops Boss auto plans that are based off what Steph and Olivia and Christy, what you guys think is best, that people can easily add into their Brivity account as a starting point. Like if they go to your class, they should walk away with 3 plans they can easily add into their system to start from. Maybe that's something we could work on as like kind of a gift to everybody, that they leave and then they just click one button and they add that new plan to their system. Maybe that would be very, very helpful.
Sounds bossy.
Well, everybody, thanks for coming today. Christy, thank you for inviting me and hosting. And Steph, thanks for being willing to show your business. And thank your partners as well. They're great friends of ours, and we really appreciate them.
They're awesome.
Thank you. We appreciate you and the power that you're giving everyone with this gift.
Yeah, let's throw away our Trello boards, our spreadsheets, our whiteboards, and let's let technology work for us. We're done working for technology. Technology should improve our lives, not make our lives worse. All right, everybody. See you later.